changes in the forecast. We got storms Friday night, some of which could be strong. The forecast is coming into focus. We're going to share it with you coming up.
When did you hear the gunshots go off?
Well, the first two I heard, I was waiting to hear the window break.
A terrifying moment at a San Antonio motel. A woman running from a man with a gun and a witness who stepped in to help this morning. He's sharing what he saw.
Every week I sit down, typically on a Saturday night, and do our grocery list, load it up, and then pick it up Sunday.
Here's a question for you. Would cutting down on using curbside grocery service really save you some money? Well, we got the price check that might change your shopping habits today on GMSA.
Live from KSAT 12, Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Hey there, good morning. It is 6 a.m. on this Wednesday. Thank you for joining us. We hope you're having a great morning and already having that first cup of coffee.
Oh yeah, jam-packed hump day for us. But first and foremost, we got to get to meteorologist Justin Horn. Coach C's been looking at a lot of things happening, but we're going to check it out right here with this is another big deal happening. A lot of things happening with this controversial Wajolote Ranch. Been covering this for over a year. With the center of that controversy is the proposed wastewater treatment facility that will dump treated wastewater into San Antonio's drinking water. Well, this morning, Texas Commission on Environmental Quality will decide the fate of that facility. Coming up at 6:30, Sarah Costa standing by to take a look at what is expected at today's ruling in Austin. Now, again, before we get to all that, Justin, outside, feeling good.
Oh, yeah, temperatures are in the 60s this morning. Starting to feel a little bit more like fall, right? And we're starting to see signs of fall everywhere. I want to show you a picture here coming in on our KSAT Connect. That is well done. I'm always impressed with the artistic ability of our viewers because when I do pumpkins, they don't look anything like that. So well done. We appreciate it. Hey, send us your Halloween decorations. We love to share them with everyone and see what you're seeing in your neighborhood. All right, temperatures this morning, so much better than yesterday. We have less humidity, and it really is, it's helping a lot with these numbers. 69 at the airport, 69 Converse, 63 Boulevardy. I think these numbers will fall a few more degrees before it's all said and done. So if you're heading to the bus stop right now, no issues. Temperatures will be at 71 by 10 o'clock, 78 noontime. It's going to be a mostly sunny day. We'll make our way up to around 86. That's about 4 to 5 degrees cooler than yesterday. But we've got more changes on the way, and they're good changes because we have rain in the forecast. Could come with some stronger storms, too. We'll explain when those might arrive and what it means for your weekend coming up in just a couple minutes. Okay, now to traffic. Let's go outside with TransGuide, and we've got smooth sailing there at 90 in Nogalitos, all well there. 281 at Thousand Oaks. It's been remarkably quiet this morning. I feel like I need to knock on some wood or something. You know, it's been a busy start to the week traffic-wise. Today, it's just not that way. So if you're heading out the door right now, you are not finding any issues on the roads. I-10 at Probant, I-10 at the Y, and very quickly we'll go over to the maps and I'll show you that the one spot where we see anything other than green is up here in the Selma area where we are dealing with a little bit of construction. But this is a small segment of the interstate that is showing a slowdown. So that, again, is it. And I believe Alex Gomez is dealing with same good fate there out on the roads. Everything smooth sailing, sir.
Justin, good morning and happy hump day. Yes, I'd say so. Easy going this morning. The past couple of days have been really busy. So much so that I just realized this morning that downtown construction is gone. 35 and Martin Street, all those right lanes have reopened. So downtown construction, downtown once again is free and clear of construction. Justin.
Thank you, Alex. That's going to help a lot with the morning commute. We appreciate you.
All right, later today, we're going to find out what will happen to this woman walking free on probation for a hit and run. This is the first court hearing for Marissa Ross since we reported the story to you on October 9th. Now, we told you that the family of a former Kirby soldier feels the Bexar County Probation Department and Judge Jennifer Peña have let them down. Katie Belknap says in a signed shock probation agreement, there were a lot of terms that Ross was supposed to meet. Belknap's husband suffered life-changing injuries that ended his military career. One of the terms was having Ross spend 2 weeks at the Belknap home, now in Georgia, caring for him. It's been 5 years, and that has not yet happened.
I feel like there's been no repercussions. Probation didn't file anything. Everybody just chose what to follow.
In the last hearing we attended, the judge Jennifer Peña said that she would make a decision on what would happen with a Georgia trip. We will be at today's compliance hearing and we'll let you know if anything is decided.
Now to the new details this morning about the moments leading up to a deadly shooting. We've been talking about it. And we're talking about the shooting where 2 San Antonio police officers were injured and a 36-year-old man killed last week at a motel near Highway 90 in West Military. Now we spoke with a man who witnessed it all. He's asked to keep him anonymous, and we're doing that because it's out of fear. His story gives us a look into why 36-year-old Odon Paul Bustos shot at officers and ultimately was shot in return and then killed. He says that he heard a woman yelling at Bustos and was trying to get away since he had a weapon. Well, this man that we spoke to says that he hid the woman in his hotel room until police said it was safe.
When did you hear the gunshots go off?
Well, the first 2 I heard, I was waiting to hear the window break. Then I heard 17 to 20 shots after that. And that's when I knew that's it. It's over.
Now, the main reason that man sat down with us is because of the woman involved in this situation. He says that there is more to her story with Bustos, and our Avery Everett working to get that as we speak. If you or someone that you know suffering in an abusive relationship, that QR code that you see on your screen, you can get up and scan it because it's going to take you to a long list of resources that we've compiled at ksat.com/domestic violence. Also, the trial continues today with the former San Antonio police officers. Yesterday, the jury looked at crime scene photos and key pieces of evidence in the 2023 shooting death of Melissa Perez. And we are now more than a week into the trial of those police officers, Alfred Flores, Eliezer Alejandro, and Nathaniel Villalobos. The jurors saw pictures of shell casings, the hammer that Perez swung at the officers, and of the apartment complex where the incident happened in June of 2023. Perez was experiencing a mental health episode at that time. The jury has to decide whether the officers followed protocol, and if they convict them, all 3 face up to life in prison. You can watch it live later this morning on all of our digital platforms and at ksat.com.
All right, listen up. Early voting is underway here in Bexar County. There's a lot of focus on the funding of propositions for the Frost Bank Center in a downtown arena, but the entire state will be voting on amendments to the Texas Constitution. One of the most significant affects bail and the denial of it in certain cases. It's Proposition 3 on the ballot. If passed, judges would be required to deny bail for people accused of certain felonies. Felonies like murder, aggravated assault, and indecency with a child. The state would have to show that bail would not be enough to make sure the accused isn't a flight risk or danger to the public. Defendants would have the right to an attorney to represent them during a bail hearing. And you can read about the other amendments on the ballot that seek to provide property tax relief on our website. Just head to ksat.com/vote. Early voting runs through October 31st. November 4th is Election Day.
All right, let's get to some of your morning headlines. San Antonio is set to become the first city to take action against Governor Greg Abbott's order to remove the rainbow crosswalks in Texas. Well, the city of San Antonio, with support from the LGBT+ advisory board, planning to file an exception to the governor's order, which calls for all art conveying social, political, or ideological messages be removed from roadways. Governor saying that this is to keep distractions off the roads for drivers. Well, TxDOT then sent a letter to the city ordering the removal of the North Main Avenue rainbow crosswalks or face possible loss of state funding. The day after that order, city officials told KSAT that there are no immediate plans to make changes to any roadways. It's now day 22 of the government shutdown, which is the second longest in U.S. history, with no sign of compromise in Washington. Well, President Donald Trump met with the Republican senators in the Rose Garden as construction continues on a new $250 million White House ballroom. Meantime, the impact of the shutdown is growing. Some federal workers set to miss more paychecks, and programs like SNAP benefits and heating assistance could be at risk in the weeks ahead.
And listen, the San Antonio Food Bank is sounding the alarm over the ongoing government shutdown. They say it could have a crippling effect for families across the 29 counties that they serve. Leaders with the San Antonio Food Bank told KSAT those who receive SNAP and WIC benefits are stocking up on food right now. They've been notified that their November benefits might be delayed. President and CEO Eric Cooper says if funding isn't resolved by October 27, it will take a toll on federal, military, and government contractors during the upcoming holidays. They estimate a total of 189,000 people in our region would feel this impact. That is why they are putting out a call for donations.
6:09 now. Because of the recent budget cuts, Meals on Wheels will have to pause the meal deliveries to 350 seniors starting October the 27th, which is not far from here. It's a challenge for many families, but you can help. We're kicking off a KSAT community phone bank to raise funds and keep those meals coming to those who need them. You can join us tomorrow. KSAT community phone bank taking place starting during GMSA at 5 a.m. and then it runs until 7 p.m. And here's some inspiring news in response to all of this. We got a popular restaurant, and you know him, Bill Miller's Barbecue, coming to the rescue. Bill Miller's has now donated $192,000 to help fund the Meals on Wheels program for the next 3 months. We have more information on how to support or contact those Meals on Wheels if you need assistance over on our website.
Start with live cam, 610, 69 degrees, comfortable morning out there. This is the future radar for late Friday night into early Saturday. We'll show you how much rain we could see with this next storm system.
This actually saves a lot of time, makes it easier.
It's quick, easy for many families, but is curbside pickup quietly costing you more than you think? The San Antonio couple putting convenience to the test, and what they found may surprise you.
And what if your high school graduated decides that college is not the right path for them? That's where trade jobs like welding comes into play. Up next, whether you become a welder, an electrician, or a plumber, we take a look at just how much money you can make in a promising new career.
Hi, Dawn. How are you? Wednesday on the news at 6.
3 years since I first met you?
Yeah.
What has changed in 3 years?
A story about making the most out of a second chance.
I know for a fact people could change. You know what I'm saying? Looking at change, right, Joe?
I've seen it. I've seen people change their lives.
From decades in prison to a national honor, it's a KSAT follow-up, 3 years in the making.
What's it mean to you to be able to say all of that?
I want to help guys that was like me.
It's Wednesday on the news at 6.
All right, time right now is 6:15. Take a look at this. There's a new welding lab at Palo Alto College, and students are really taking advantage of this. It's all thanks to a $1 million investment in the school's welding program. It expanded Palo Alto's welding lab from 26 to 46 booths. The work began last year and finished up just before the fall semester started. There's a growing need for welders, and the school says the investment was necessary to get their students hands-on training.
Right now, the oil field and the car industry, technology is driving everything, and we need to stay ahead of it. You can make a great living as a welding supervisor, as a welder.
And listen to this, a brand new building is in the works on the southeast side at Brooks. It should open sometime within the next 3 years. KSAT also did some digging to find out the salary a welder can expect. According to the U.S. Bureau of Labor Statistics, it is anywhere from $50,000 to $75,000 a year. Also on your screen are some median salaries for other trades, and as you can see, the numbers are pretty similar. All of this data is from 2024.
So you know it's so easy to get wrapped up in our phones and electronics, and the kids with their tablets or phones. So there's a new statewide initiative underway, and it actually kicked off yesterday. Yesterday was the Unplug Texas Day, which is a day to get off your devices and enjoy the outdoors and community. The event was put on by San Antonio Parks and Recreation in collaboration with the Texas Recreation and Park Society, and it took place at the Lockwood and Dignowity Parks. East of downtown, there was a live music nature play for the kids, free trees given away, among with other things, and most importantly, no phones.
we get wrapped up in our phones and on our computers. So why not get outside? Let's just all get together and again build that community.
I think that's very overlooked nowadays, just getting outside. I think now that the weather's cooled down, this is a perfect time for the kids and the families to go out and enjoy the parks and really just do stuff that they're not used to doing. Like you said, get them away from the screens.
I know we're talking about an event that happened yesterday, but let's be honest, any day is a good day to unplug and get outdoors. However, if you are bummed about missing Unplug Texas Day, don't worry, because it's going to be a yearly event every year on October the 21st, and each year it will be held at a different park and is free to enjoy.
And right now the highways on the southeast side are looking pretty smooth, but I am going to go check out an incident on Southeast Military right underneath I-37. I hear there's a crash right there involving a school bus. Now, I don't think there's any kids inside, but it is leaking fuel. So I'll let you know what's happening over there, but Southeast Military eastbound is going to be blocked right underneath I-37. But what else is happening on the highways out there, Justin?
Not much at all, Alex, and thanks for staying on top of that. We'll get some more information from you coming up here in just a little bit. Pretty incredible. If you look at the drive times, the inbound drive times, usually by this hour, we're starting to see some of these go yellow and maybe even red, depending on the construction situation, but not this morning. Everything is green. Even coming in from 90, we have a little bit of a slowdown, our normal spot here where we get some slowdowns, but looking good there if you're coming in from Castroville on Highway 90. All right. Let's go outside with live cam now, and we'll show you what's going on as far as the situation outside. That's TransGuide there, but we'll go to live cam now. And we've got maybe just a few thin high clouds, but otherwise it's comfortable. 69 degrees at the airport, 65 New Braunfels, 69 right now in Converse, 57 in Bernie. That's one of the cool spots with calm winds this morning. That front helped us out yesterday to erase some of that humidity, and it will be fairly dry most of today. 68 at 9 o'clock. 81 at 1 p.m. and then eventually up to 86 for a high today. So yes, a little cooler than yesterday where we hit 90. The dew point trend will stay pleasant, I think, into the afternoon. The dew point will rise, but you won't notice it much until we get into tonight and then especially tomorrow morning. And it's by that point where we could start to see some morning clouds, maybe some morning fog tomorrow as the humidity increases quite a bit. All right, next big thing. We've got a low off the coast of California. We can see it very nicely here on water vapor. And water vapor imagery, what we look for here is the spins in the atmosphere. And where you see the orange colors, that's dry air. But we're starting to see some moisture get wrapped up in this area of low pressure that is going to work across the country. And it's going to tap into even more moisture as it moves into Texas. This is a fairly slow-moving system, and it brings some energy to our neck of the woods, which this could be a good thing as far as rainfall is concerned. So let's talk timing here. Most of Friday will be quiet. We could see a couple showers. Friday night football even may be fine. Your Friday night plans may be fine. But by the time we get into Friday night, this is actually midnight Saturday, we could see some storms coming through. These could pack a punch. They could bring some heavy rain going into Saturday morning. And then we should clear out some on Saturday with maybe a few more showers Saturday afternoon, although I'm not as sold on that. I think our best shot is going to be Friday night into early Saturday. 1 to 2 inches. A lucky few may see even more than that. Some loud storms Friday night, some strong ones, as we said, and there could be some street flooding going into Saturday morning. Your extended forecast, 89 Thursday, 89 Friday. You see the best rain chance there Friday night, 60%. And then we should clear out some late Saturday, more so Sunday, with a high of 86 with some cooler weather headed our way next week. All right, let's go to Just Ask Justin now, and it has to do with Taylor Swift. My daughters love this song, so I was inspired. What best describes an opalite sky? If you're not familiar, that is one of her most popular songs right now. Is it black and starry, clear blue and sunny, iridescent, or rainbow? Votes for all, but iridescent leads the way. Go to ksat.com/poll, scan the QR code, brought to you by Capital Farm Credit. The answer in 30 minutes.
All right, thanks so much, Justin. Time right now is 6:21, 69 degrees out there.
Your coffee prices are surging, but do not put down that cup of joe just yet. From beans to brews, smart ways to sip and save coming your way.
In this morning's GMA First Look, how to conquer the rising cost of coffee.
This morning I paid $7 for a large coffee.
$7?
Yep.
According to experts, smaller independent roasters and coffee shops are going to experience fluctuations more quickly than major coffee chains.
Coffee prices are significantly higher than historical. The primary driver is that there are problems in the supply chain.
At this independent coffee store, the owners just told me 4 years ago they paid $1.50 a pound for coffee. Now they pay $6.50. So with prices this high, could you cut back?
On a regular cup of coffee, it would have to go up to maybe $12. I love coffee that much.
And coming up at 7 a.m., we'll have more expert tips to brew up savings while still getting that jolt of Java. With your GMA First Look, I'm Becky Worley, ABC News, Oakland, California.
All right, yesterday's pollen count, mold was low at 250, ragweed low at 40. We'll get that new pollen count in here in about an hour, and we'll pass it along to you when we get it.
How would you feel if this normal kitchen sink water was actually treated wastewater coming from a wastewater treatment facility? And you already know we're talking about that controversial Wajolote Ranch development. We got a big decision coming down later this morning from the TCEQ. While I'm over here in the sports department playing with their cool little sports gadget here, our San Antonio Spurs are in Dallas right now ahead of their season opener, and that's where we find out Larry Ramirez with the latest on the silver and black. Wastewater treatment facility that would dump treated wastewater into San Antonio's drinking water. We're talking about the Wajolote Ranch development, and the TCEQ got a big decision to make regarding that facility. Sarah Acosta has the latest later this morning.
Check out how dusty my rain gauge is. It's finally going to get some use as we get into the weekend. Rain chances increase Friday night.
This morning, we're trying to save you money and time. We're taking a look at grocery store apps, Curbside, and home delivery to find out which one's more cost effective.
Live from KSAT 12. Good Morning San Antonio starts right now.
Coming up on 6:30, again, happy hump day. We got a jam-packed last 30 minutes of the show to get to.
Yeah, first thing though, everybody's talking about the traffic out there. What's it looking like? And we've had a pretty good morning so far, Justin, but some problems are popping up.
Yeah, there are. And I think we're going to go to Alex first. And I think he is at an incident on Southeast Military and I-37. So let's check in with Alex and see what's going on there, Alex.
Yeah, it's right over here on the southeast side, Justin, and it looks like this school bus right here was hit from behind by a truck. And so I did see when I first arrived to the scene that there were a few students who were transported from the broken bus into a new bus. And so it looks like nobody was injured in this. It looks like they're just going to be trading buses right now. But this is going to be an East Central ISD school bus. And right now they're getting ready to tow the broken one down. So just know that Southeast Military headed eastbound is actually completely blocked off. If you're coming down 37 and you want to go east, SAPD is actually diverting you to go back 37 northbound. So it's quite the mix up, and you're going to have to use some alternate routes such as going down to Pressa and actually take the U-turn from there to go back on Southeast Military, Justin.
Alex, thank you so much for that information. You just saw the truck there getting towed away too. Looks like that's probably the car that crashed in the back of the school bus. But it's so good to hear that no one was injured or anything like that. So Alex, we appreciate you so much. Thanks for being the eyes and ears out there on the roads. And as we look at the situation here across the city, it had been good. This is kind of the one incident that we have. These are just stalls and they're not really causing any slowdowns. But just to give you some perspective on where Alex is, Southeast Military and I-37 right there, where that turnaround, as he pointed out, is closed in. There is some redirection there until they can get that cleaned up. So Alex, thank you so much. And let's take a look at the bus stop forecast as we switch over to weather here. And if you're going out to the bus stop this morning, we're expecting temperatures to be in the mid-60s. So kind of a cool start, or at least better than it has been. And that has to do with the lack of humidity. 65 this morning, 85 is what we can expect this afternoon. Not too hot, not so bad. Certainly better than yesterday. Rain chances. Friday, 20%. Friday night, 60% chance rain. This is going to be our best opportunity to get some showers and storms. And then we may even see a little bit more going into Saturday, especially Saturday morning. So let's talk about some of the impacts. And we're talking Friday night into early Saturday here. Generally 1 to 2 inches, maybe some more in a few spots. It is going to be loud, we think, Friday night with some storms. There could be a couple of strong ones, but generally this could just be some good rain for us. And there may be a little bit of street flooding as well going into Saturday morning. We'll take a look at all of this and show you the future radar coming up in just a couple minutes. Jeff?
All right, 6:32 right now. We've been following the story of the controversial Wajolote Ranch for over a year now.
Yeah, the center of that controversy is the proposed wastewater treatment facility that will dump treated wastewater into the San Antonio's drinking water.
Now, this morning, the Texas Commission on Environmental Quality will decide the fate of that facility. And Sarah Acosta, she's telling us what we can expect from the commission's ruling. Sarah.
I will be in Austin at 9:30 a.m. and we're going to be bringing you updates on that decision on air and online. I'll also be talking to all the stakeholders involved, including the residents, scientists, state and local leaders who have been fighting the proposed Wajolote Ranch for years. The development would bring 3,000 homes on 1,100 acres just north of Gray Forest. Lennar Homes, a Florida-based developer, is the company behind the project. Opponents' biggest concern, a wastewater treatment plant that would be required to go along with it, which would process, clean, and treat sewage, then dump it into Helotes Creek. That creek feeds into the Trinity and Edwards aquifers, which are part of the drinking water supply for nearly 2.5 million people across south central Texas and parts of the Hill Country. The Edwards aquifer makes up 15% of San Antonio's water supply. That's what makes this an issue for the city of San Antonio, even though the development is well outside city limits. A study was paid for by the city of San Antonio back in 2020 and found that adding a wastewater treatment facility in this location would, quote, significantly degrade the watershed and the quality of water recharging the Edwards aquifer, end quote. So we have reached out to Lennar multiple times, only hearing back from them one time on this issue, saying they have plans in place to prevent pollution of the Edwards aquifer and San Antonio's drinking water. The permits that would allow this wastewater treatment plant lie in the hands of the state. During this meeting, the TCEQ will consider those permit applications. They're going to hear from attorneys on both sides, and then commissioners will discuss the issue and make their decision. I'm Sarah Costa, KSAT 12 News.
And this morning, we got a man is dead after being hit by a train. It happened near the San Antonio airport last night, where San Antonio police said that the man was walking on the train tracks when he got trapped on a bridge over the tracks. The train struck him and he died at the scene.
This morning, 16 families have been waiting to hear one word: guilty. It's a story that we've been following since February 2024. They bought cemetery headstones for their loved ones from Angelic Monuments owner Elena Moreno. She stole around $50,000 from them, but never delivered the headstones. After multiple attempts to contact Moreno and more than a dozen families coming forward, police arrested Moreno in March 2024 and charged her with felony theft. Then just last week on October 14th, Elena Moreno pled guilty in front of a judge, and the victims she stole from, who Moreno will now have to pay back. Moreno has until her sentencing on December 9th to pay each victim back in full.
Over in Denver Heights, city officials met with residents last night to hear their thoughts on public safety concerns. Now, the city says that the top 911 calls in Denver Heights are generally hang-up calls requested for an officer to patrol by, or general disturbance calls. But residents who attended the meeting said that the main issues that they see are loose and dangerous dogs on the streets. Maria Vargas, the director of the city's Integrated Community Safety Office, says that these meetings super helpful for her team to hear what residents have to say.
So it also helps us to say, like they communicated, people don't call about stray dogs anymore. And so the city should try to encourage residents to make those calls and try to explain how they are taken care of back at 311 and with ACS.
So it's simple. If you see something, you're encouraged to say something and be on the lookout for a good neighbor engagement meeting in your neighborhood. City is looking to hear from residents on the public safety concerns. All right, let's get right into this. We are in early voting now for the November election. And when voters hit the polls, they won't just find the two Bexar County propositions that, if passed, will provide funds for the Frost Bank Center and a much hoped for downtown arena, but there's also 17 constitutional amendments. Among those amendments, Proposition 11, one of the handful of propositions that tackle property taxes. Now, specifically, Prop 11 would let lawmakers raise a homestead exemption, which would limit how much of a home's value can be taxed to pay for public schools for elderly or disabled homeowners to $60,000. Now, right now, that exemption is $10,000. Now, the state will fill that funding gap to cover whatever public school revenue schools lose if this proposition passes. Now, we have more information on that amendment propositions along with our other election coverage, sample ballots, information on when and where you can vote, all at ksat.com/vote. Early voting runs through October 31st, or Election Day, November the 4th. 6:38 right now. We got the Spurs in Dallas ahead of their season opener tonight. And former UConn greats Stephon Castle, Paige Beckner took the opportunity to meet up and pose with their respective Rookie of the Year titles. Beautiful trophies right there. Awesome picture as well. So that's a first for two players from the same college in the same season. And San Antonio hoping to break that 6-year playoff drought. Reporting from Dallas to get us ready for tip-off, Larry Ramirez.
Good morning, San Antonio. You know it is the Mavericks versus the Spurs right out of the gate. How awesome is that? It's a Texas team versus a Texas team featuring two of the bright young players in the NBA, and Victor Wembanyama and Cooper Flagg. So Wemby is entering his third NBA season, and he's definitely a man on a mission. From training with monks over the summer to packing on some extra weight, Wemby is ready to help the Spurs in their 6-year-long playoff drought. He's the favorite to win Defensive Player of the Year, and don't be surprised if he joins the top of the MVP conversation. Now, Flagg is only 18, and he still has to prove himself. But from Summer League to the preseason, he's definitely put on a show since the Mavs took him #1 overall. Wemby was asked about Flagg and if he studied him ahead of tonight's game.
I haven't really studied, but seen lots of highlights, obviously. Have always loved the intensity. And, I think it takes some humility to play with such intensity in an era where for young players, it's cool to be nonchalant, you know what I mean?
He's a dynamic athlete with a second to none level of competitiveness that sets a tone defensively and is also, multifaceted on the offensive end. So he's pretty good, and looking forward to seeing him continue to grow in this league.
And the Mavericks have beaten the Spurs in 2 straight season openers. In San Antonio, they want to change that tonight. All right, that's all from Dallas. Let's send it back to you in San Antonio.
All right, Larry, and you already see it right there. Tonight, we got the Spurs and the Mavs meet inside American Airlines Center for an 8:30 tip-off. De'Aaron Fox, Jeremy Sohan, and Lindy Waters III have been ruled out. Hey, and as you and Alex have said, Justin, we're going to shock the world this year.
I feel good about it. I feel really good. This is our season. It is. All right, outside with live cam. We've got a cool morning. Temperatures in the 60s. We are watching a new tropical storm in the Caribbean. This is Melissa. We'll show you where it's headed and what land areas it may affect. Coming up.
Have you kind of seen there's a little bit of a price difference between, picking up curbside as opposed to going in and getting in the store?
Oh, absolutely.
This morning, we are asking, is curbside delivery really saving you money or just time? The price check that might change your shopping habits next.
6:44 right now. What started as a helpful way to shop during the pandemic has now become the norm for many families.
We're talking about curbside pickup, home delivery, and even using those grocery store apps. Do you actually know how much more you're paying for the cost of that curbside convenience?
Stephanie Serna got the answer. She caught up with a family who tracked that price difference. Check it out.
Climb in and buckle in.
Oh, good job. That one was stuck.
It's another trip to the grocery store, which can be a fun car ride for Carla Skate's son.
Hi.
Hi, Carla.
I love Lucky Time.
But once they are there, it just takes minutes for their groceries to get loaded in the car.
You guys having a day okay?
How often do you think you probably use curbside?
So we use it weekly. Every week I sit down, typically on a Saturday night, and do our grocery list, load it up, and then pick it up Sunday.
Have you kind of seen there's a little bit of a price difference between, picking up curbside as opposed to going in and getting in the store?
Oh, absolutely. I know with curbside, there's a little bit of a markup to use the curbside service, and that's reflected in each individual grocery item. But when we go in store, especially when we take our child with us, it is typically a lot less expensive using curbside because we're not susceptible to those impulse buys.
The price difference or markup on the total grocery list can depend on what Carla and Jorge are buying that week.
And you can see the estimated total, $141. The cost here is $139.79.
Carla and Jorge could have saved $1.35 if they went inside the store to purchase groceries. Now looking at the individual items, Some are the same cost inside the store as they are at curbside.
These are all the curbside prices here.
But the difference could be in cents, like this 24 count of string cheese. It's $7.34 curbside, and it's $6.99 in store.
For us, it's worth it to save the money, save the time, and have the convenience instead of, spending hours at the grocery store.
Stephanie Cerna, KSAT 12 News.
That works. Thanks, Steph. 6:46 right now. Muertos Fest happening this weekend, Friday night through Sunday, where it's free and open to the public. And if you're not able to make it, get this, you can see it from a different perspective. We're going to air a special rebroadcast of the event Wednesday, October the 29th at 8 p.m. Ernie Zunica, Sarah Costa, and SA Live's Jen Tobias Strusky are the host, and it'll be filled with stories behind the altars, musical performances, and a procession, and so much more. And downtown San Antonio expected to be crowded this weekend with both Muertos Fest and Paul McCartney performing at the Alamo Dome on Saturday. But before you worry about parking, VIA can take you there for free. This Saturday from 3 to 9 p.m., VIA is offering a park and ride services at the locations listed on your screen. Return trips will run all the way to midnight. And then on Sunday, bus fares resume. Only 2 locations will be offering park and ride services. Park and ride fare, $2.60 for a round trip. Trips to events will run from noon to 7, and return trips will run until 11.
Yeah, and just like that, this scene has cleared on the southeast side. So the school bus was just towed away about a couple of minutes ago. And so the eastbound lanes of Southeast Military have reopened. So I'm going to get back on the highways, check out the rest of the city. Anything out there that I should look out for, Justin?
I'm not seeing a lot, Alex. It's been a surprisingly quiet morning other than that incident you were just at there. So, yes, we appreciate it, Alex. And no, I think you'll be good to go as we look out on the maps here across the city. A lot of green. There are the normal spots that we're starting to see some slowdowns. Now, the construction issues that we had on 35 are gone. Pretty surprising to see green in both directions there. That's where Alex was, the incident there on Southeast Military, as he just stated. It has cleared. We have our typical slowdowns there on 1604 on the northwest side, and then the slowdowns that we often see on 90 coming into town. But otherwise, good to go. If you're heading out the door this morning, commutes are pretty much on time as it stands right now. Again, we showed you that this has cleared, but still some slowdowns along 37 as you get to Southeast Military, and then drive times. Everything's green other than from Floresville. You tack on a couple minutes. Same story for those coming in from Castroville. All right, let's switch over to forecast now and talk about what you can expect today. 65 at 8 a.m. We're going to start off somewhat cool, temperatures in the 60s, by noontime 78, and then we make our way up to 86 today, mostly sunny for your high, a little better than yesterday. And humidity will stay relatively low, although it starts to come back tomorrow morning. And when it does, we may start to see some morning clouds and also some fog. Then we get to talk about rain. This is Friday morning. Rain's not here yet. We may see a couple showers on Friday, but I think most of your Friday will be spent with quiet weather. That means Friday evening plans, probably okay. Friday night football, probably okay. But we're going to watch these storms that come in from the west, and I think they arrive overnight. So we're talking midnight Saturday. Some of these storms could be coming in, and they could pack a punch. We may see rain continue into Saturday morning before that clears east. Now, this particular model does want to develop a little bit more as we get into Saturday afternoon. Possible, but I'm a little less sold on this idea. I think, again, the best chance of rain is going to be overnight Friday. How much rain can we see? 1 to 2 inches here in San Antonio. So this number is going up. The biggest totals will be off to our north and east, but I still think we could see a healthy number here in town. And even down to the south and west, if you remember yesterday, we weren't even talking about an inch of rain. Now it's possible. So the entire area could get in on some of this rain, and that's exactly what we want to see. So the bottom line here, Friday night and early Saturday is when we expect this rain to arrive, generally 1 to 2 inches. A few places could see more than that. The impact, it'll be loud. You'll hear thunder, lightning Friday night. Could wake you from your sleep. Some strong storms overnight. Friday going into Saturday morning, and there could be some street flooding Saturday morning. We got to be careful with that because obviously Friday night, Saturday morning could still be dark. There could be some spots that, water gets a little bit high. Meantime, in the Caribbean, Melissa, tropical storm. This is the newest update. Winds are at 50 miles per hour. Where is this headed? Well, it's going to slowly move off to the north and west. Tropical storm watches and hurricane watches have been posted for Jamaica and over towards Haiti, where they could see quite a bit of rain, and this is forecast to intensify to a Category 2 storm. 89 tomorrow, 89 Friday, 60% chance of rain Friday night, 40% chance Saturday, a little cooler on Saturday and cloudier, 81, 86 Sunday, and oh, by the way, we've got a stronger front next week that could knock us down into the 70s by Wednesday. All right, Just Ask Justin this morning has to do with, of all things, Taylor Swift. My daughters inspired me on this one because they love this song. Have you heard it, Opalite?
Mm-hmm. Dancing through the lightning strikes this weekend.
See, it's very weather related. That's why I like it. What best describes an opalite sky? Is it black and starry, clear blue and sunny, iridescent, or rainbow?
See, because I like iridescent as a color in comparison to all that.
Okay.
I'm leaning on that.
You're going iridescent, okay? Patty?
I'm going to go with iridescent.
Yeah, that's a good guess. You guys are right.
Yay.
Yeah, if you've ever seen an opalite, which is like a man-made version of the opal stone, and it mimics that. And so it's typically milky, iridescent color with some shades of blue, purple, orange, and yellow. And for Taylor Swift, it's just a subject of
perfect
symbolism.
It is 6:52 right now, 69 degrees outside.
Ahead on GMSA Plus in just 10 minutes, we hear the mayor of San Antonio's thoughts on a recent requirement by the Texas governor that puts San Antonio's rainbow crosswalk in jeopardy. Why, she says, there are bigger things to worry about.
Welcome back. If you're heading out the door right now, temperatures are in the 60s. It feels pretty good out there. We've got mostly clear skies. We'll see temperatures 78 noontime, 86 for a high today. Low humidity for the most part, but it does return tomorrow. That'll lead to some more clouds, maybe some fog tomorrow. Breezy on Friday, 20% chance of rain, but the main show comes Friday night, 60% chance of some storms. Could see some pretty good rain out of this, and that may linger over into Saturday with some cooler temperatures, 81 there on Saturday, guys.
All right, thank you, Justin. Coming up next on GMSA Plus, we're talking about that controversial Wajolote Ranch and what's going down later on with the TCEQ.
Of course, we're going to be keeping an eye on all the traffic and how that's impacting you this morning. Stay tuned for GMSA Plus.